Welcome back to the I Beg to Differ podcast. My name is Candace, and I have my co hosts with me today, my sister Monica. And today we will be talking about Survival of the Thickest, Season 1, Episodes 5 and 6. So, where we left off on episode 4, Mavis met up with Jock, and he was basically, I'm talking about how he misses her and they can work things out. And then she almost caved, but then she ended up telling him she just wants the toilet from the apartment. And she goes home on the subway with this toilet and she's wheeling it home. And we see Luca is there waiting for her when she gets home. So when we open up episode 5, those two, Mavis and Luca, they just seem really happy. They go on a double date with Khalil in India. Then Jay walks in on Luca and Mavis having sex and tells Mavis that her mom is there. So, like, what were you thinking?
Mhm.
Like, what were you expecting from Mavis's mom? Like, did you expect her to be so like Team Jock like she was, or
Um, Not really, but after like just kind of seeing her walk in, yeah, I kind of figured she was team
yeah,
job. Yeah, afterwards.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah? Because then Mavis, I guess, was telling Luca like, "You got to get up out of here." She was trying to get him out like the window and stuff. It's like, no, you can. He was like,
Yep.
"No, I want to meet your mom. I want to meet your mom," and she was like, "No." But
Yep.
then she ended up letting him meet her mom. So, but kind of find out her mom was already sitting in the living room. Like she thought her mom was just in town, but she was sitting right there, so she heard everything they were doing too. So,
Yeah.
basically, her mom is like, "Y'all finna go to church because y'all both sinners." So we finna go to church. Both y'all coming to church with me. So they both go to church with Mavis's mom, and then I was just like, Luca wore a tracksuit to church. Like Mavis really let them wear a tracksuit to church with his mom, with her mom. I mean,
Yeah, I
I
think
was
it
a
was
little.
more because
I'm
it was
like,
like last minute. I don't even know if he had
yo,
packed
yeah, I
church
didn't think about
clothes or
that.
not really.
Yeah,
But
or he may have not
um
even been keeping his stuff at her place, so maybe that's just what
yeah,
he
that's
had
what I
on the
was
day before.
thinking. Yeah, that's what I was thinking for sure.
So then Khalil, oh, when they walked in church, they were talking to some people in the church, and her mama was be already starting off being shady. Like it's clear she wants Mavis with a black man. I feel
Yeah,
like.
that's how I felt.
So then we get Khalil. He takes Marley's advice and he starts taking some paid art gigs, and he's painting a mural for this black-owned coffee shop. So he's talking to India about it, and then he accidentally slips up and calls her his girlfriend. So what do you think about like how India and Khalil have been progressing at this point?
Yeah, I think they've been progressing like really good at that point.
Yeah.
Like it seemed like it was going fine. I don't know, better than expected, I guess, just
Yeah.
because, but
Yeah.
it was definitely going fine.
Yeah, for me, it's kind of weird seeing him. Like, seems like a complete 180 from the Khalil we met episode 1, but
Mhm.
I think they've been doing good. He's been doing really good with her, and like, I don't know, I was just surprised how well like he's adjusting, I guess, being a one woman man.
Yeah, yeah.
So then they show Mavis mom and them at church, and she just keep being shady. Like she keeps calling Mavis and Luca a fling and like saying it
Yeah,
in their face, and she's like praying, but she's being shady in her prayer and stuff. And you could
yeah, for
tell like
sure.
Luca's a little worried because you could tell he really does like Mavis, and then I think she's putting a little doubt in Mavis's head. Or what do you think?
Yeah, I think so, but I also think like it seemed like Mavis is probably used to like pleasing her parents. So I think
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of where it come from.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't know, it was kind of weird. But I just feel like she's definitely used to kind of like going along to getting along with her parents.
Mm-hmm.
So
No, I
that's
can see
why I
that.
don't think she ever really like stood up to her mom. But we really didn't get that far with the mom being on the show. But I think for sure, like she used to
Right.
going along and getting along.
Yeah. No, I agree. Cause it seems like you said, she just automatically does what her parents think she should do. Like her
Yeah,
parents' opinion, hold, or at least her mom for sure holds a lot of weight on how she moves. So
yeah,
then we see Khalil and India. They show up to paint the mural, and Mavis also comes along. So then this Karen approaches them and accuses Khalil of doing graffiti on a wall and is asking him for a permit. And then India keeps encouraging him to show the woman his permit, and he like, I'm not showing her nothing. So then, um, because he says he's not doing anything because he doesn't owe her an explanation. Then the coffee shop
yeah,
owner, who's a black woman, comes out and basically shuts the lady down. And then the lady gonna try to talk about some. I donated to Cory Booker to try to
yeah,
say she ain't racist or whatever, and then she just
yeah.
runs off. Like, what did you think about India in this situation? Like, I'm kind of on Khalil's side, but I also understand India's side too. About kind of like just not like, yeah, you don't want to validate those type of people, but also you know what can happen when they decide they want to call the police or whatever.
Yeah, that's kind of like how I feel too. But I also feel like India should have bagged back and let him be the man in the situation. Like let
Mhm.
him lead in that situation because it was what was happening to him. So she should have
Right.
just had his back, like not asking him to show this or show that. Like she should have literally just had her man back and been like, "We ain't
Right.
showing you nothing."
Yeah,
So
and I
I
feel
think
like,
I didn't
oh, go
agree with
ahead.
that.
Yeah.
I didn't agree with that. And I think that's why, like, later on in the show, we kind of see her do that again.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
cuz for me, I didn't like it. I didn't mind her doing it one time, but she just kept pressing and then going through his bag looking for, you know what I mean? It's like, all right,
Yeah.
like maybe you suggested one time, but once you see he don't want to do that, just leave it alone. Let him handle it at that
Exactly.
point. I felt like she was
Exactly.
being way too pushy about it.
Me too.
So then we see India, she keeps trying to check on Khalil, and he's disappointed in the fact that he felt like India was validating the Karen by looking for his permit. Mavis kind of diffuses the situation because I think she really likes India for Khalil. And then they all go smoke some weed together in Khalil's apartment, and he apologizes to India, which I didn't think he really, well, maybe he could have gave her a little apology, but she owed him a bigger one. And she apologizes too. And India basically says she was on edge because her son just got called the N word. And she making it seem like this happened like in his face at school. It was while he was playing a video game online, which I'm not invalidating it, but
Yeah.
we've
Yeah.
heard stories about the kids playing the video games online and all kinds of racist stuff being said. And then also in this scene, we find out that Mavis, well, Khalil been telling Mavis all of India's tea, like all her business, like her
Hmm.
her her birthing story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything. So what did you think about this scene just in general? Like, I guess first of all, because
Oh,
we're both moms of boys, so like, how did you feel like kind of understanding India's perspective more since she has a black son?
yeah, I mean, I got where she was coming from, but also that situation was so different. Like you said,
Exactly.
they're like an internet thing. Um, it's like you're dealing it's a black man versus a black boy. And
Mm-hmm.
also like it to me it wasn't a good
Like
comparison at
comparison,
all.
yeah.
Like
Yeah,
it
I
didn't make
agree.
sense to me. But I get where she was coming from. Maybe that just made her fearful. Like
Mm-hmm.
that one interaction like made it fearful because she couldn't do anything about it. Like
Yeah.
even though it just happened on the internet, it wasn't much, you can do, but she couldn't like get on there and like cuss the child out for her child,
Exactly. Yeah.
So
I guess for me, that boy old enough, he should know about racism. I'm sorry, but like it just I'm like, y'all just now having that conversation with him. Just at least me, like I feel like I'm gonna
exactly.
tell, and I know you've had conversation obviously with Isaiah because he's older, but I'm sure like
Hmm.
you plan on having not like super early conversations with Landon, but like early, like
Yeah.
that boy look like he about in middle school
Yeah.
or close to it. I don't remember how old he is, but he looked pretty old. So I'm just like, y'all hadn't had that talk with him anyways already. So I don't know. I don't know. I felt like you said, she was being a little bit dramatic with it.
Hmm.
And then what do you think about Khalil telling, like, do you think you would tell, like, if it was reversed, you think you would tell, like, your guy, if you had, like, a guy, platonic guy friend, would you be telling him about your boyfriend's business?
Probably. I mean, I feel like yeah, probably. Like if that's who you went to and you talked
Yeah.
about, and it seemed like he kind of like really in love with her. So I think that's kind of where it stems from too. When you in
Yeah.
love with somebody, you talk about them all the time, and
Hmm.
let me tell you this. So I think it's more just him being in love and just want to talk about that all the time.
Yeah, because then I was like, India didn't seem like, she seemed a little like shocked by, but she didn't seem upset. But I didn't know if that's just because they were high.
Yeah, and I feel like too, like your like if you have a guy, like us being females, like if we have a guy friend that
Hmm.
we real close to, we are gonna kind of tell them some stuff. Like,
Yeah.
for example, if your man might be having some male issues down there, so you might talk to your guy friend about him, especially when it's like coming from the perspective of this is my best friend. Like I know he ain't gonna tell no other guy or
Right.
female what I'm saying. So I think it's
Yeah.
more just like, he probably just think, she a female. I can talk to her about all this female stuff that India tell
Yeah.
me about, you
Yeah.
know.
No, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I don't think I would, like, if I was India, I would not like be that bothered because it's so clear that it's not like anything going on with them. Like it's so clear it's
Yeah,
a
it's
brother
definitely
sister
not. It's
relationship
definitely,
thing. Now I wouldn't want him
yeah,
telling her about, my childbirth stories and stuff. That's a little personal, but I wouldn't get like too mad about it.
yeah.
So then after that, Mavis is making dinner for Luca since it's his last day in the city for this trip. Mavis's mom clearly got in her head. She's stressing out. Luca can tell, and he asks her, do you want to just go for a walk so we can kind of calm down? Mavis sees that a woman calls Luca while they're walking and asks, "Who's that?" And he says it's his roommate, Tony. No, actually, he just says it's Tony, right? And then she's like, "Wait, so like you have a roommate, Tony, and then there's this, you got a pretty friend that's a girl named Tony." He's like, "Tony, the girl, is my roommate." And so now Mavis mama done got in her head. She thinking the worst of this man, and she's just like, she thought Tony was a man, and now she's all insecure about it. And she's like, my mom was right. I knew this was too good to be true, kind of. But they are able to reconcile before he leaves. What did you think about this? Like, I don't know, it's really tough. I know, obviously, I ain't trying to put you on blast, but I also been here too. But like, when your mom don't like somebody that you dating, like, isn't it like hard to like not let it get in your head? And you sometimes you like in this particular situation with Mavis, like he's a good guy. Her mom is just like prejudging him. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And then it's just kind of like, I don't know, it's hard not to let them get in your head because at the end of the day, your mom, your parents, they want what's best for you, but
exactly.
you
Yep.
also need to see it through for yourself because you're an adult.
Hmm. Yeah, that's true. Like I get it. Like sometimes that stuff can get in your head. And I mean, she just came out of that other relationship where it was
Hmm.
infidelity. So
Right.
it's like, I think, I feel like you say, they reconciled, so it wasn't too bad. But I think
Mm-hmm.
she was kind of just letting it get into her head. And I think literally Tony was just a roommate. I
Yeah,
mean, of
I
course, as
agree.
the show goes on, we pretty much sure that's just what it was.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, I think she was just letting it get in her head.
Mm-hmm. So then we get the final scene we get with India and Khalil. They're hanging out on that rooftop that he has above his apartment, and India talks to Khalil, basically saying he deflects when like uncomfortable conversations come up. And then he finally asks India to be his girlfriend. So what did you think? Like, I think she was accurate when she said he does a lot of deflecting, because he does. But I was proud that he done made some strides from episode one.
Yeah, he really has.
So
He
I
really
really likes
has.
them.
Yeah, I thought that was real cute. And I thought, yeah, he's like, he done came a long way. Cause we done seen it just evolve over the episodes to
Mhm.
where I think he really in love now. Like
Oh yeah,
he's
I
ready to
agree.
make it official and everything.
I agree. So then we get into episode 6. And so Mavis meets with Nicole Byers, and Nicole wants to hire Mavis for a styling job. So Nicole is coming out with the lingerie line for that's inclusive, plus size, and she wants Mavis to style the is it like a launch, just a launch party, I guess.
Yeah, I think so.
So we'll get back to that because Natasha's not very happy about it. So Khalil comes over to celebrate with Mavis for getting her first, actually her second celebrity client after Natasha. And it seems that Jade and Mavis, they seem like they've done came a long way. Like they seem
Oh yeah.
like they're friends. So they're all getting along a lot better. They're all celebrating and they're drinking. And they singing Rough Riders anthem. And Khalil and Mavis, they waiting to see if Jade gonna say the N word. What do you think about that scene? I thought that scene was funny, and I kind of liked seeing
Yeah.
Mavis and Jade like turning the corner and actually like being friends.
Yeah, me too. I really enjoyed seeing them, like, actually getting to know her. Cause I
Hmm.
think literally Jade is super cool. I think she's just more of like, not,
Yeah.
I don't know how much of an introvert she really is, but she seemed like she
Hmm.
might be like a homebody and kind of just lonely. It kind of almost make you
Yeah.
wonder, like, her dynamic outside of, what we see on the show. Like, does she have family up that way? Or,
Right.
does she even have family, period? Because it seems like she very much is kind of looking for a friendship with Jade. And then, her
Hmm.
pets are like
Yeah, cause
her friend. So
yeah, cause we mostly see them hang out at the apartment, but we don't like she doesn't go to like the club, the bars and stuff with them. So I'm
hmm
wondering like I mean, they seem like they're getting kind of close. So I wonder how much, maybe if they get a season 2, of like Jade will get a little more incorporated in the friend group.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah. That's what I wanted to, because I thought it was nice kind of seeing her being incorporated, because I feel
Yeah.
like sometimes she portrayed just as like this weird person.
Right. Yeah. So it's like she don't just be in her room when they come over. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
that's realistic. Like even like when you think about it, like I don't know, I had a college roommate, but I never like when I went to grad school, but I never really hung out with her. So I guess I was kind of like Jade. But like, how was it when you like had your college roommate? Like, because I don't think y'all had the same friend group, but
Mm-mm.
like
So
would
I
y'all
had
still
three
kind of
different
talk and like
ones.
hang out and stuff sometimes? Or
Yeah, I had 3 different runs, and I never really hung out with any of them.
oh
Like,
wow.
one of them, we just did not get along at all, and I don't even know why, because 'cause I'm the easiest person to get along with. But she just didn't like a lot of, like,
Right.
phone calls and, like, people calling
Mm,
me going out, because she was very much like
yeah.
a homebody. But then, like, my other roommates, I never really hung out with them either. But one of them, like, my first, roommate in college was really nice, because she would, like, offer to get me stuff from
Yeah.
the store when she went and stuff, because I didn't have a car. But I
Yeah.
never got the whole, like, being super good friends with my roommates. But they was all
Yeah.
cool except for that one. They were cool, but never hung
Yeah,
out.
and then I would know people that would like end up like they second or third year rooming with like their close friends that they met in college, and then them friendships didn't last. So it's like you
Mm-mm.
gotta kind of have some boundaries. you know.
Exactly, you really do. Cause I never wanted to room with my close friend in college, but you know who my close friend in
Yeah, I
college
know.
was, and one
I
time we
wouldn't.
talked about it, and I just thought about it, and I was like, "Nah."
You gotta keep some boundaries. But you start
Yeah,
living together, them boundaries get a little blurred. So,
exactly.
and I figure maybe that's probably why Mavis didn't like go stay with like Khalil or Marley,
Mhm.
during this transition because they know better. They know better
Yep,
than to try to stay together. So
yep.
then Nicole shows Mavis the collection. Nicole loves Mavis's idea for the line. I forgot, it was something with like a flower or something. I can't remember what it was, but it was a really cool idea. I liked it. And Natasha just keeps blowing Mavis's phone up. So Mavis finally meets with Natasha. Natasha says they won a Webby Award for the speech at Bradley's funeral, and the event is next Friday, but that's the same day as Nicole's lingerie launch. So Natasha's not happy about this. She's like, "Why are you styling these random people? Like, you supposed to be my style." So what did you think
Mhm.
about this? Like, do you think Natasha had a point? I don't know. I
No. No.
I was trying to give her a little credit. Go ahead.
I don't think so. So you think she did have a point?
I think they didn't define boundaries, or you know what I mean. They should have got something a little better in writing. I guess in terms of
Exactly.
like, like say for instance, I don't think Natasha. It seemed like maybe Nicole's like more not more famous than Natasha, but just a little more pop culture. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? A bigger deal at this point in time than Natasha. But it's like I don't know. I think if it's a big enough name, that person always comes first. Now, I
Yeah.
don't know in this situation who's the bigger name, though, necessarily. But you know, like if you Beyonce stylist, you can make it style other people, but if Beyonce needs you, Beyonce needs you. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But I don't think
Yeah.
Natasha is Beyonce, so
don't think
I think it's
so.
just
I
tricky.
don't. I
Yeah.
think Natasha was trying to play it the cheap route. She didn't
Mhm.
want to sign her to a contract to be exclusive, and like she clearly probably didn't have an NDA or a non-compete agreement, none of that stuff. But Natasha just was
Exactly.
expecting her to be only loyal to her. But you gotta, like you say, you gotta get something in writing, and you need to sign the
Yeah.
deal. Like, and I think that's why she went on to do what she
Mhm.
did, but I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
like, do you
And I
feel
think
like
she
what
thought
she did was
because
good enough? Like what she offered?
uh I don't know. I mean, it was a lot for Mavis considering Natasha was her first celebrity client.
Yeah,
Um because before that she had styled some of the like drag queens at dang, I forgot the name of the bar. You CC or something. I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. The bar that they be going
yeah,
to. So I think had she offered that initially, that would have been enough. But now Mavis has got a little social
yeah.
media presence. She got her little hashtag Mavis kills or whatever. So now that's not enough. Like she can build her own brand now. So
Exactly.
yeah, maybe right now she won't be making what Natasha offered her, but she's becoming what, like she's in print now for the little like dog wedding
Mhm.
thing. You know what I mean? So Mavis is on her way up. And
Yeah, I
Natasha,
felt like
yesterday's
10K a
price
month.
is not today's price.
Exactly. I felt like 10K a month too in New York is not
Yeah.
Georgia 10K. Like
Yeah.
it definitely it's enough, don't get me wrong. But when you start thinking about all these expenses, what does the
Yeah.
10K entail? So I think it was a good to keep you on my team, but for as demanding as Natasha seemed like she gonna
Mhm.
be, I would think it would need to be 15 to 20,000 a month
Yeah,
at
especially if she
least.
wants exclusivity.
Yeah, exclusivity
Like
because
if
you
it's
telling
going
me
to be
basically I gotta turn
exclusive,
down.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like if it's gonna be exclusive, I need to be making money where I can go shopping whenever I want to. You know what I mean? Like if it's gonna
Hmm.
be exclusive, I need to make that kind of money because I can't make money doing anything else.
Exactly.
Unless it's like exclusive, like I'm your only personal stylist client, but you will still style like photo shoots and like spreads and stuff, then okay, we maybe can work that out. But if it's completely you can't style anything else, that 10K a month ain't
Mm-mm,
enough.
that ain't worth it.
Especially
Too
after
many
like I gotta pay
opportunities.
taxes on that and stuff too.
Exactly. That's the
And
one thing I was thinking too. Yeah, the taxes.
I feel like New
So
York taxes are probably higher, I would assume, than Georgia taxes too, probably.
probably so.
But yeah, so the Khalil in India, they have dinner, and then their server is one of the women that Khalil ghosted and clearly blocked. Um, so what did you think about this scene? Like India's like, Khalil, I know you've changed. They don't know you've changed. So, like, you have to understand that they're going to react a certain way because you did them wrong. And then they
Exactly.
basically, like, she probably finna mess with our food, ain't she? And then they're like, yeah. And they get up out of there. So, what'd you
Yeah,
think
that
about
was
that scene?
hilarious. Yeah, that it was funny. It was funny for sure.
I
But I
do
think he do
appreciate.
got to realize people don't know he changed.
Right. But I appreciate how like mature at least seems at for
Yeah.
now. We'll
Hmm.
next podcast we'll get into India. But for now she seems really mature and like I appreciate that she didn't like hound him about like the girl. You know what I mean? She like that. 'Cause you know how some women are, but it's like that's in your past. I'm your present. I know
Hmm.
you ain't like that no more. I'm not really worried about what you did back then, kind of thing. So I appreciated that from her.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. She handled it real well.
Hmm. So then
Yeah.
Mavis runs into Jock as she's picking up some with I think it was some pieces for maybe there were pieces for Natasha. Um I don't know. She was picking up some styling pieces, and she's telling him what she's been up to, basically professionally, and he's just saying like he's proud of her and stuff, and he's hoping they can be, on good terms since they're gonna be running in the same circle. Since she's a stylist, he's a photographer, they're in the same industry. What did you think about this kind of run in with them?
Yeah, so I don't know. It's just like the whole jock thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just felt like I knew it was coming. Like I felt like I knew it was coming, but I just wasn't ready because I like Luca so much.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I know that it was gonna come again.
Yeah, like he
But
was
I
gonna
don't
come
know.
back
What
around.
are your thoughts about it? Like I'm just kind of like I'm team Luca all of a sudden, just because I
Yeah,
think he just treats her so good and stuff, and just so chill. Like with him, it don't seem like it's like, oh babe, you need to do this for your career. Like it's not. It's more just letting her just relax and be,
yeah. Yeah,
So
I like Luca too because I feel like he's just present, and he
yeah,
like she was saying in the one of the other episodes, she was like, I just want somebody to ask me like, how has my day been, and that was very telling because clearly she was with Jock all those years, and he clearly wasn't present in that way for her. It seemed like maybe
yeah,
he made their life about him, and the fact
yeah.
that like she was in a relationship that long and she had to tell the new man that, oh, I just want somebody that'll ask me how my day's been, that mean Jock wasn't doing that. And so that should just be
Hmm.
a clear like sign that that wasn't the man for her.
No, no, not at all. I feel like that is so true. Like you can just tell, like, and two, I feel like he was just so much about career and this move and that
Hmm.
move. Like it just, I don't know, it was too much. Like I feel like now she
Yeah,
just seems so relaxed.
I agree with that. So then we get Natasha shows up to Mavis's fitting with Nicole and basically just throwing major shade. at Nicole.
Yep.
And I'm just like, Natasha, let's not do this. And so that's when Mavis talks to Khalil about it, and he encouraged her to put herself first. He's like, if you know this is what's best for you, you stick with working with Nicole as well. Mavis comes home to get in bed, and Jade has her friend sleeping in Mavis' bed. And they have a fight about them both being inconsiderate of each other. I'm honestly on, okay. Jade was dead wrong. She should not have put that man in Mavis' bed. That is crossing boundaries. That is not cool. But also, Mavis wrong. Mavis done took over the whole house and didn't even ask.
Yeah.
Just put her stuff
Yeah.
everywhere. Now, like I said, Jade shouldn't have that man in her bed. But Mavis, she got to be more considerate. Mavis was being
Yeah.
very inconsiderate. So I feel like Jade just did that like as a get back almost to like,
Yeah.
you need to
Yeah.
get your stuff.
Mhm. Yeah,
What'd
I
you
think
think?
so. I think it was more of a get back. And also, I think it was just, no telling what they had did that night. They probably had been partying. And he
Mm-hmm.
might have just been like, look, I need a bed. And she was just like, well, just go in there. She could have been out
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah. No, I agree. But yeah, Mavis, she got to do better. As a roommate,
Yes.
she got to be more considerate. So then Khalil goes on an apology tour to all the women he done ghosted or did wrong. Khalil says he wants to spend more time with India and not just when she has the weekend free from her son Cooper. Like he wants to meet her son, and she seems hesitant to let him be around Cooper. Um, did you think this was just her being protective? Because I like obviously we've watched. You went ahead and watched the rest of the season, so we know the real tea with why she don't probably want to bring around Cooper. But I was just like, why is she being so hesitant? Like he's clearly serious about her and he knows about Cooper and still wanted to date her. So I don't know. I didn't get why she was being so. But also, I'm not a single mom, so maybe you might have a different perspective on this. But like, why she was being so hesitant about him being around her son when they're clearly pretty serious.
Yeah, sometimes I guess it is like a single mother thing.
Mm-hmm.
But also, like you said, we've seen the rest of the show, so I don't know about it. But yeah, I think yeah, initially, yeah, I could have maybe thought it was just like a single mom thing. Because it do
Mm-hmm.
be kind of like as a single mom, you kind of be on the fence about introducing your kids or just family in general to people,
Yeah.
just because like it comes with a whole different weight of like, is your kid gonna like them? Are they gonna like your
Right.
child? How they gonna treat your child? Like, do I really want to even bring this person around my child because
Mm-hmm.
they might be a pedophile? So
Yeah.
it's
No,
just
you're
like
right.
it's like a thousand thoughts that go through your head. So I could get the hesitation initially, yeah.
Yeah. Do you think it would have been different if Khalil had a child too? Maybe.
I think it may have could have possibly been a little different
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like then she may have felt like too like the initial meeting could be them like letting the kids get together and play, or
Yeah.
it wouldn't be so much pressure because it's almost like, oh hey, we on a play date, we're meeting him,
Mm-hmm.
maybe he don't think it's that serious. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think yeah, it could probably have been different if he had a child too.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like maybe that's part of it too. It's like because clearly it seems like he hasn't dated women with children before. If he's just like finding all these women and ghosting them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or at least not to the point where he's met their children, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe she's a little hesitant too because she doesn't like it's all good in theory, but until you
Hmm.
actually meet the kid and have to build a relationship with her son, like you don't know for
Exactly.
sure that he's really in it for the long haul. You like
That's true.
words mean nothing if the actions aren't following.
Mm-mm.
So
Yep.
then we Luca sends Mavis a plane ticket to see him. She all stressed out with all these events she got going on. And she gets upset about this plane ticket and he's encouraging her to just find balance in her life. And Mavis is mad. she's like, I can't just leave and go visit you. And she just kind of going a little bit, kind of going off on him. And I'm like, this man bought you a plane ticket. Like, girl, what did you
Mm-hmm.
think? Like, would you have? I mean, I get what she's saying. Like, she does have her own career, but it's just like, I don't know. I get it, but he meant well. You know, Luca meant well.
Yeah, yeah, he definitely meant well. And I feel like too, she had a little bit of cold feet, but
Mm-hmm.
also I think she just so used to the hustle and bustle of New York. Like she was just scared to go visit and really slow down
Mm-hmm.
and really see like where this was going. Cause I think she was getting cold feet a little bit.
Yeah, I think so too.
Like almost too good to be true type.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
obviously, like we said, her mom got in her head too. So I think it was just like a
Hmm.
combination of all of that.
Yeah.
So then Mavis styles Natasha, and it's a gorgeous like pink dress. It was I really like that dress that she put her in for the Webbies.
Hmm.
And Mavis wants to go to the launch party, and she's basically like, I forgot the assistant's name. But
Yeah,
Natasha's
I forget
assistant,
his name.
she's like, he knows what to do. I told him everything to do. He got you or whatever. And but Natasha keeps trying to stop her from going to the launch party for the lingerie line for Nicole. So she wants Mavis to be her stylist exclusively. And we kind of talked about this. She offered her 10,000 a month to be her exclusive stylist with a 3-year contract. And that was the other thing we didn't bring up. 3-year contract, that ain't long enough.
Mm-mm.
I need more than 3 years guaranteed. So Natasha
Yeah.
says if Mavis walks out the door, there's no coming back. And Mavis leaves. So were you proud of Mavis for leaving? Did you feel like Mavis did the right thing in leaving? That kind of money on the table. I know we said we don't really think it's enough. Um, what do you think?
Yeah, I was kind of glad she did leave it because I was kind of just doing the numbers in my head. Like, I don't know that. Yeah, that's enough to pay rent and groceries and probably like your car note. But in New York, that ain't a whole lot. And I just felt
Mm-hmm.
like she would be throwing away so many opportunities that was probably going to come her way now that she
Yeah.
was back out in the forefront and doing her
Right.
own thing, outside of Jock and all the stuff he was
Mm-hmm.
trying to book for her.
Exactly.
So I was kind of glad she did not take it.
Mm-hmm.
But I was thinking that after she did not take it and like walked off, I thought Natasha and them were gonna try to catch her, but then they didn't
Yeah, they just
right
let her
then. So
leave. Yeah, I was like proud of her. I felt like it showed a lot of growth in her character. Like the Mavis episode one would have took that in a heartbeat. You know what I mean? But like
yeah.
she building her own brand, and it's kind of like what Marley was talking to her about before, like you're your own CEO now versus like if she took that offer from Natasha, like she wouldn't be working for herself anymore, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Whereas like
Yep.
not by not taking the offer, she gets to build her own brand, and can be selective about what job she takes, or you know what I mean. um so I think I was proud of her for walking away from it. At the time when I heard, I was like, "Oh, that's a lot of money." But then
Yep.
when I thought about like New York, I'm like, "That's not that much money."
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so then we get the launch party. It went great for the lingerie line. Maybe, but then Mavis is talking to Khalil on the phone, and she's panicking about turning down Natasha's offer, and she's just looking for some reassurance from him that she made the right decision. And then next thing we know, Mavis faints and she's taken in an ambulance. And that's where we end episode 6. So what were you thinking like with her panicking? It's like we had all the growth in the scene before, and now we reverting back a little bit, Mavis. Like we got to calm down.
Yeah. Yeah. I think she had needed to calm down. She was just all over the place. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
expect her to like I don't know. I thought she had grown a little bit more confident in her decision making, so I didn't expect her. Like I thought she would be fine, but like when she started having like that panic attack, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, Mavis."
Yeah. Yeah. It was kind of funny, but yeah.
So that's where we leave off on episode 6. So that's where we're gonna stop today, and then you went ahead and watched the rest of the season. I had already watched the
Mhm.
season. So we're not gonna do
Hmm.
predictions because we know what happened already.
Yeah.
So we will be back to record the last two episodes, 7 and 8, with our other sister Katrina as well. So we'll wrap this up. My name is Candace. You can find me on Instagram at simply Candace. Monica, do you wanna?
Yep. I'm Monica. You can find me on Instagram at Monica Rose Lifestyle.
Okay. And so we don't just recap Survival of the Thickest. If you found us on this show, that's great. But also check out our feed because we've also been recapping Sweet Magnolias and The Challenge USA. And then we're looking at doing some movies. We kind of been in our sister group chat trying to figure out what we're gonna recap next. But if you guys have any like recommendations, you can go on the YouTube version of the podcast and put something in the comment sections if you have some shows you want us to recap next. And this will be available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all those places where the podcasts are at. So we just appreciate you guys listening to us, and we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye.